Hello, this is Chris Vody, and welcome to another edition of DDPY PCS. Now, before I get started with the main topic today, I want to wish good luck to all of those who have entered the DDPY Positively Unstoppable Challenge. Now, this is a challenge that I've entered in myself, and so many of us really deserve to win this because so many of us are really making changes in our lives that are very positive. And certainly anyone who's doing this challenge is already a winner because you're doing the work. And the work is the most important thing. The contest, it's a nice little side thing. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but the work is where it's at. Now, a bit of an update from me. I'm not sure I actually lost 15 pounds. I think there was a mistake when they were weighing me. I kind of tilted back a little bit by accident while on the scale. So that might have recorded me at a less weight than I actually was. I tested myself at my home scale and it said that I was actually closer to 260. So that's a bit of a disappointment. So I'm kind of pushing myself hard right now to see if maybe I can lose 15 pounds. Because I really don't want to put those milestones back on the wall. But, you know, weight has always been a secondary concern anyways. But I want to be honest. So, let's talk about false positives. Now, false positive is when you receive some sort of positive result, but it was done in error. That it wasn't really good, it just seemed like it was good at the time. And later testing reveals that it wasn't an actual result, but kind of a goof, an error, if you will. Such as my being weighed was a false positive because there's me leaning back on the scale might have altered the number. So I thought I lost 15 pounds, when in reality, I didn't. That's a false positive. But that's not the false positive I want to talk about today. Anyone with a mental disability such as mine, such as me, my disability, has dealt with false positives a lot. In the 7 years that I've been disabled, there have been times where I thought I was doing better, that I was on the mend. Now, the thing with post-concussion syndrome, I mean, they don't really understand concussions to begin with, the medical community, and why some of us end up with concussion symptoms after the initial period, and why so few of us end up having this last the rest of our lifetimes. There's just so little understood. But the thing about my disabilities, they kept telling me that my brain would just one day start working on its own, as if nothing bad happened to me. You know, first they told me 2 months, then 3 months, then 6 months, then a year, 2 years. They just kept pushing it back. But my research suggested that if it lasted longer than 2 years, it would last the rest of my life. I'm really hoping that's not true, but 7 years in and I haven't really gotten that much better. Because I still have hope. I have hope that I come out of this. And maybe, just maybe, like I wake up one day and I'm cured. You know, I have that hope. It's a silly hope, but I have it. Because I want more than anything to go out into the world and be a part of the world again. Being trapped in these four walls. I mean, yeah, I have a home that I stay at, but it's with my mother. Most of my world is these four walls. Like I said, there have just been periods of time where I just start feeling like, you know, things are a little bit better. And maybe I'm on the way, and then I go and do something that I know will stress my brain to make it feel like I want to shut down, and boom, it happens just as fast. And it's annoying. It's annoying when you have those feelings like maybe you're starting to feel better. And the difficult thing with me is my memory. I have a super bad memory. Like, I don't even know what I was really doing last month. Last month feels like a year ago. Last week feels like a month ago. Yesterday feels like several days ago. And my perception of time is so flawed. So it just, I have a bad memory, so I don't know how my disability was a year ago, or even 7 years. But in that 7 years, I don't think that I've gotten better. Although there have been those periods where it's like, well, you know what? I've noticed a little bit lately, things are a little bit easier. And then, sure enough, I'm just proven wrong on that one. And like I said, this happens a lot with mental disabilities. I'm sure it happens with other kind of disabilities as well. I really don't know. There was a recent conversation in the DDPY Positively Unstoppable Facebook group. And the discussion was how in the application, in the app, you can record pain in various parts of your body, like your head, shoulders, arms, forearms, chest, stomach, lower back, upper back, mid back. You know, all these places you can assign a number for how you're feeling. Now, in the case of my head, I always list it as 10 because of my disability, and just there are days where it just hurts all the time. Then there are days where it doesn't, but that's usually because I'm not working. If I work, it hurts. And someone suggested, and for a different reason, but I think it applies to my situation, of having an application that tracks mental difficulties. Now, that person was referring to PTSD, which in many ways is a mental disability. Something's going on in the brain just doesn't want to function. And you have some days better than others, but it's hard to keep track of all of that. So it was suggested that the DDPY app help you track that you can put in numbers to sort of help you follow that through. Now, as Steve Yu suggested, that's a good idea. They'll look into it, but there are other applications out there where we could do the same thing. And that is true. But, you know, this book where I keep a list of all my food, I keep forgetting to do it. I keep trying, and then I forget that I have it. The thing with the DDP app, though, is I always keep that open. I'm always looking at it every day. So if I had an application on there to help keep track of my brain, that means that I don't have to use another system or even a little booklet like this to keep track of that. I would have it on that application. And then I could definitely see, am I getting better? Like, I track myself every day. Like, I give a number of 1 to 10. Some days are 8, some days are 4. But then I can look at a whole list and kind of see, overall, I mean, it's kind of up and down, but if you look at the grand scheme of things, it is slowly going down. It would be helpful because people doing DDPY, they've been inspired by Arthur Borman, who was able to turn his disability around to going from being barely able to stay upright without assistance to being able to walk and run. And a lot of people are coming to DDPY with the promise that maybe their disability can improve. I'm one of those people. But being able to track our progress like that would make things a lot easier. Now, as far as my development goes, as I told people, my inspiration is not Arthur Borman, it's actually Jake the Snake Roberts. He was able to overcome his addiction for when he did DDPY for 2 years straight. And that's what inspires me, that maybe if his brain changed to overcome his addiction, that maybe my brain can overcome my disability. But we're talking 2 years' time. 2 months in, I'm not going to see any major improvements. However, I have seen some improvements. The one thing that I've started, like, I see little things here and there, very minuscule. I keep saying that, I work 3 hours a day, and that's the most I can do. If I can add 5 minutes on that, that would be a major jump for me. So I'm noticing little things, like I'm better able to load and unload a dishwasher. I think I'm doing it a little bit faster. A lot of these things are not measurable. I can stay out in a grocery market for a longer amount of time. I can even go to multiple places and it not affect me as bad. It still affects me bad though, but I see a little improvement. I can also start listening to like the TV or the radio while I work. Now, if I need to really think about what I'm doing, I have to put it on pause. So it's not like this is a major development here. I wish it were, because I used to listen to music when I wrote all the time. I can't do that. But when I'm doing some basic work, I find that I can, just a little bit, watch TV and do the work at the same time. These are not false positives though, because I'm testing them all the time and I'm getting pretty much the same result. Understandably, these are very minuscule things, and I'm in my 3rd month and I expect it to take 24 months. I mean, I'm 10% into my workout, but, I still got another 90% to go before I expect to see any changes. So, I do think that the addition to the app of tracking our mental disabilities, PTSD, post-concussion syndrome, headaches and migraines even. I've noticed that some people have been posting about that. Not just the physical body, but the mental mind as well. That should be tracked. This way we can try to determine if our feeling better is actually us feeling better or just a false positive, and that can be one good way to do it. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you enjoyed my little workout here. This workout's like an hour long, so it's going by super fast. Check out my links down below. I've got my Patreon down there. I got my PayPal down there. Trying to save up money for insurance, so maybe I can find a doctor to help me. If you don't want to do either of that, check out my website down below there and purchase one of my books. They're cheap. I do get a royalty from every book sold. And that just gets me higher in search results. I also have my course down there. If you purchase that course, there usually is a sale on there, so you can get it for real cheap. So thank you for stopping by and watching this video. Hit the subscribe down below, hit the thumbs up, share this on social media, and post any comments you have. I'm happy to answer anything that anyone has. This is Chris Vody.